And this is why I think it's important to read the best in people. Like read the best intentions in and what people are saying. So like and this is something I think we've lost as a society. We're almost consistently or constantly looking for the worst possible way this could be interpreted. Whereas if you look at the best way this can be interpreted, when someone makes a generalization that isn't maybe true of you or true of someone that you have to read the best possible interpretation of that.
I think it comes, I don't know where this idea comes from, but there's an idea that it's like, and sorry, this is going to sound really crazy from me, but I think that everybody goes through it, is like everybody's just a bunch of idiots. You know, like it's like, well, like, it's not true, but I think that there's this tendency to like when you're on the road driving and you just think like everybody's so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, or like you're in a bus or whatever and you're like, what are all these people doing with their lives? You know, I'm not saying that these are good thoughts, but I'm saying like there's kind of this like purveying like a narcissism almost in a way of like you just don't have any faith in anyone else around you.
Right.
Like that they're good people or that they do the right thing. When in reality, I think we need to assume more that people are just like us.
Yeah.
You know, it's like not that I'm not a world apart from everybody else in my own individual, you know, beautiful mind.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're all the same.
Yeah.
You know, like we're all this flesh and blood.
Right. And I think that's something that marriage really highlights is like when you get so close to someone, like at first, and I don't think I'm different for saying this, but at first you think like, you know, after the first year, you're like, this person is crazy in like a very special way. Like this person.
Both of you are thinking about each other.
Yeah. Like
this person's nuts.
Yeah. Like within the first 2 years. And then once you get past that first stage, like you start to think like this person is like out of control or whatever, you know, after you get past that first stage, you're like, oh no. Like this person is a normal amount of crazy,
right?
As am I,
as I am, as everybody else is. Yeah,
yeah. And that's when you build that tolerance and you begin to fall in love with the crazy as well as
right. And when you see crazy comments, you know, just like I just try to imagine all the time. It's like, what if this was that person's worst day of their life?
Yeah,
and they were just on YouTube and they saw some video that ticked them off for whatever reason and they said something horrible.
Yeah,
you know, but like, what if that was me? What if I had the worst day of my life? And I was on YouTube and I saw a video that ticked me off and I just said something horrible in the comments.
Well, or,
you know what I mean?
Or you just assume like, I don't know, I think about like, what have we created as society? Like, how could we expect this person to do anything different when as a society, we are constantly outraged? We're constantly feeding most people outrage, right?
Well, yeah, that's why I completely ignore the news.
This is why I think the church is so important, because the church should be the one place you go. And this is something that I have to push back against myself as a pastor, because as a pastor, I want to like just get up on stage and
like,
share my
rally,
outrage.
Everybody, let's just get together and just yell,
just go, you know. And I think that's what's going on with a lot of different things. But I don't know that constant outrage is the best way to change society.
Right?
Actually, I don't think it is. In my opinion, outrage.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, being propagated right now on either side of every situation that I'm looking at is like the idea that outrage is the thing that's going to change things.
And I think that it's not just a now thing either. It's been going on for a long time. It's like outrage is a tool that people use, you know, and it doesn't, many times it unfortunately doesn't feed into the results that people want or need.
Right.
Many times.
And I think that's the job of the church, is to create a place where you are rewriting the narrative.
Right.
And the narrative is that you don't have to be outraged at everybody because everyone has fallen short.
Right.
Everyone is full of sin. Everyone is broken.
Right.
Right. And there's only a single Redeemer, and his name is Jesus Christ. And only by giving our lives to him as an individual can we ever overcome that brokenness.
Right.
Right. And that message, if it gets lost in the church, which unfortunately I think at times it sort of ebbs and flows, you know, like when I think sometimes the church lets its guard down and starts to talk about a lot of other things.
Yeah. The church tries to put on other hats that it probably shouldn't at times.
Right.
You know, like we're your one-stop shop for, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
The latest, coolest, trendy thing.
And I think continuing to preach the gospel that everyone is broken, everyone that's outraged, everyone that's, you know, hurting other people, everyone is broken and in sin, and until they meet Jesus,
right,
you know. Anyway.